Have you ever had that moment? You know, the one where you look at your bank account and just feel this knot in your stomach, like you missed the memo and everyone else got a secret rule book for how to handle money? Well, if you've ever felt that way, you're not just not alone. You're basically in the majority. Today, we're going to dive into Chelsea Fagan's book, The Financial Diet, and unpack a really simple but powerful way to get good with money. And it all starts with one core idea that kind of changes everything.
And this right here is the big idea. The book frames getting your finances in order not as some kind of punishment, but as an act of kindness to the person you're going to be down the road. It's all about making choices today that give your future self more freedom and more security. Simple as that.
So before we even get into the solutions, it's so important to just acknowledge that feeling of being lost. Thinking you're the only one screwing up with money can be super isolating, right? But the reality is it's a totally shared experience, as you'll see from the author's own story.
I mean, just take a look at this. The author herself got her first credit card at 18, thought it was basically free money. We've all been there. And completely maxed it out on fast fashion in just 6 weeks. And when it stopped working, she literally threw it in the trash and just ignored the bills. So this isn't some financial genius who was born with a spreadsheet in her hand. She started from a place a lot of us can probably recognize.
And our story isn't a one-off thing. It's actually part of a much bigger generational picture. The average 20-some is carrying around $45,000 in debt. And get this, fewer than half of millennials under 30 are even saving for retirement. So if you feel like the system is stacked against you, you're not wrong. It's easy to see why you just want to throw your hands up and say, forget it.
But that's exactly where this book's whole philosophy comes in. It offers a way out of that cycle of just feeling anxious and avoiding the problem altogether.
So what is the financial diet? Well, it's a really powerful metaphor. Think about it. You wouldn't go on a crash diet of only lettuce and expect to be healthy and happy, would you? Of course not. The same thing goes for money. This isn't about extreme deprivation. It's about building habits that actually last, finding a healthy balance and making thoughtful choices instead of impulsive ones. And you know, it's pretty cool to remember that big changes almost always start small. The financial diet wasn't some massive company from day one. No, it started as a personal Tumblr blog just for the author to track her own budget and keep herself accountable. It's a great reminder that your first step doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to take it.
So where does this journey begin? It starts with a conversation. Money is one of the last big taboos, but keeping it all a secret only makes us feel more alone. The book makes a huge point that by opening up to friends about what we make, what we save, what we owe, we create a support system. We start learning from each other and realizing, hey, we're all dealing with this stuff.
If you are finding this video helpful, please make sure to hit that like button and share it with someone who this might help and be a benefit to their financial decision-makings. Your support means a lot to me and helps the channel grow, allowing the YouTube algorithm to show this content to a bigger crowd. More people can benefit from these ideas and hopefully improve their financial well-being.
Okay, with that philosophy in mind, let's get practical. The book lays out a really clear, actionable plan that you can literally start using today.
Pillar number 1 is the absolute foundation of everything, your budget. And the book is super clear. This part is non-negotiable. A budget isn't a prison, it's a tool that gives you control. It's the one thing that shows you exactly where your money is going, so you can start telling it where you want it to go. And if you don't know where to start, the 50-30-20 rule is a fantastic, super simple framework. Here's how it works. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your fixed costs. You know, rent, utils, is the boring stuff. 30% goes to your lifestyle. That's groceries, going out,
travel, and that last crucial 20% that goes straight to savings and paying off debt.
Now, for another perspective, financial expert Bridget Casey offers a slightly different breakdown. She gets a little more specific with things like transportation and debt. This might work way better for you depending on your situation. The point isn't that one is right and the other is wrong. It's about finding a structure that actually fits your life.
And to build that budget, you gotta be honest with yourself. These questions from the book are a great starting point. Answering something like, what am I specifically saving for, totally transforms saving from a chore into a real exciting goal. It connects your money to your actual dreams. Next up, Pillar 2, diversify your income. This one is all about security. I mean, think about it. Relying on a single paycheck from one job makes you pretty vulnerable. The book is a huge cheerleader for the side hustle, not just for the extra cash, but for the skills you learn and the safety net you build for yourself. And the experts in the book really drive this point home. This quote from Bridget Casey is a total game changer. Your ability to cut expenses is limited. Your earning potential is not. There's only so much you can cut from your budget, right? But there's no ceiling on how much you can earn. That's a huge shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of growth.
And that brings us to Pillar 3, which honestly might be the most important one of all. You have to shift your mindset. You can have the world's most perfect budget and a dozen side hustles, but if your head's not in the right place, you'll still feel trapped. This is about changing your whole relationship with money itself.
And this quote right here, this is the heart of that mindset shift. The ultimate goal isn't just a bigger number in your bank account, it's freedom. The freedom to quit a job you hate, to travel, to start a business, to just spend your time in a way that feels meaningful to you. That is real wealth. So how does this all come together in the real world? Well, the book breaks it down into a simple year-long plan. First, you create that budget. Second, you add at least one source of extra income. Third, you set small, achievable mini-goals to stay motivated. And fourth, and this is super important, you treat yourself when you hit those goals. It has to be sustainable, not miserable. So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? It's a really powerful way of reframing money's role in our lives. Your budget isn't just about paying bills. It's a blueprint for your life. It should be designed to help you answer this one massive question. The whole point is to use money as a tool to build the life you actually want, not the life you think you're supposed to have. Okay, so to wrap this all up, here's your cheat sheet. These are the key things to take away. First, start talking about money. Second, build a budget you can actually stick to. Third, find at least one side hustle. Fourth, redefine what wealth means to you. Think freedom, not just dollars. And finally, always remember to use money as a tool to build the life you really truly want.
And that brings us to the end. I'll just leave you with this one question, which really gets back to that core idea. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. Maybe it's just tracking your spending for one day. Maybe it's having that first kind of awkward money conversation with a friend. What is the one small, tangible thing you can do right now to start on this path?
Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Finance Puppy, and here's to a better financial tomorrow. Cheers!